The wife of John Paulson demands $1 billion in a divorce. She alleges a secretive web of trust. Like, we're gonna get into it, but the fact that someone thinks that they're entitled to $1 billion is crazy. So the wife of John Paulson has demanded at least $1 billion, at least $1 billion in their bombshell divorce case, and has accused the hedge fund billionaire of setting up a secretive web of trust to hide the money from her, according to an explosive court filing. Jenny Paulson, 50, claims her soon to be ex husband created and concealed three trusts worth billions of dollars while the couple was married, a shameless ploy to make sure he wouldn't have to fork over half of his wealth in the event of a divorce, according to the filing in New York State Supreme Court. Now, the thing is, right? I do not know how New York State works in the form of like divorce court because what people need to understand, like the rules surrounding like divorce in terms of like, splitting assets is all like a state by state kind of situation. Right? You have some states where after like 1 or 2 years of the marriage, you're now basically, no matter what, splitting everything 50-50. And then there's other states where you have a lot of rights depending on if you're the wife, if you're the husband, depending on who brought in more assets, etc., etc., etc. So it'd be very interesting to find out like how New York State is, but divorce is just one of those things that like okay, basically one of the best things that you could actually do to make divorce potentially less messy is just get a prenup, right? If you are like getting into a relationship where both of you or one of you has like significant funds that the other one doesn't have access to before getting into the marriage, then yeah, you need a prenup, right? Now if you're both basically got nothing to your name or something that's only like $10,000 or $20,000, no, a prenup is not worth it. But if you got like 40, 50K in stocks and the other person has zero investments and they're like 40 to $50,000 in debt, okay, yeah, a prenup might make more sense. So the suit alleges that while Miss Paulson was busy raising two daughters and managed the family's homes and relationships, Paulson was secretively siphoning the couple's assets into these special trusts. The trusts were created between 2001 and 2009, after the two were married in 2000, according to the suit. The trusts have improperly served to evade Mr. Paulson's lawful obligation in the event of a divorce, court papers allege. Two of the three trusts, which contain billions in undisclosed assets according to court documents, contain language that benefits Paulson's legal wife, meaning that Jenny will be deprived of the assets upon divorce, court papers show. The court filing also bitterly notes that Paulson 66 blindsided Jenny with his divorce filing, claiming that she only learned about it in Paulson's new girlfriend, nutritionist Alina de Almeida, on page 6. Given the spouse's long-standing relationship of trust and confidence, Miss Paulson was shocked to learn only after her husband declared on page 6 that he had filed for divorce, that he had literally spent years implementing a plan that deprived her of her fair share of assets acquired over the course of their long marriage, the suit claims. Jenny's attorney, Robert Cohen, did not immediately respond to requests for comment, and Paulson's attorney, Bill Zabel, did not immediately respond to requests for comment. So Jenny's filing comes after she turned down a multi-billion-dollar settlement, according to a Page 6 report, but people close to Jenny say Paulson only offered her a monthly allowance rather than the typical lump sum that would be in her name. Paulson, who famously made $20 billion shorting the U.S. housing market before the 2008 crash, has been battling his wife over settlement proceedings since filing for divorce over 6 months ago. Wow. So Paulson is worth more than $4 billion and boasts an impressive $200 million real estate portfolio with properties across the U.S. The couple owns a $110 million Palm Beach oceanfront home. Oh my god. Oh my god. What is even the point of this, right? Like spending $110 million on a home, or like owning a $110 million Palm Beach oceanfront home. And now I guess it kind of like depends on like how much did they originally spend for this home. I mean, I guess in terms of like their total net worth, it doesn't really matter. But at the same time, can you imagine just like owning a nine-figure plus home? Like that's so crazy. A 95-acre Aspen compound worth more than 50 million and a Southampton estate worth more than 40 million. Now here's my thing, right? If you were to start getting like this type of money, would you even be able to actually enjoy any of this to its fullest extent? Like this is the problem that I see a lot with a lot of people who make a lot of money is that they end up just buying things just to buy things instead of buying something that they're actually going to get enjoyment from. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy like that Lamborghini, but I'm never going to drive it. It's just going to sit inside my garage for the next 10 years. Like, what's the point of that? What's the point of even buying it at that point? So in March, Paulson sold the 28,000 square foot Upper East Side townhome for 5 million to 20 million. Oh no, for 5 million. $20 million less than his asking price of 24.5 million. Now that's interesting. But the fight over divvying up property hasn't been simple. People would have been astounded by the generosity of Mr. Paulson's offer, which would have given Miss Paulson far more than what is required by law. Her greed has created an insurmountable obstacle to settlement, Paulson's attorney, Bill Zabel, previously said. Zabel has also represented George Soros and Howard Stern in divorce settlements. I've been trying to meet in person with Jenny and her lawyers to discuss a settlement for the last 8 months. She has rejected all offers of arbitration or mediation, Paulson commented. And Cohen of Cohen, Clarelons, Gryford Thorpe, and Rotenstreich, what a name, said they had been working to find resolution for over 6 months, but John was offering her an allowance that he would control, adding, husbands who have made a fortune in a marriage do not give their wives allowances. Now, again, this really all depends on whether or not they had a prenup, right? And also the legal rules of the state that they live in. Because, like I said, sometimes, depending on the state, it doesn't really matter. And regardless of like the prenup or not, you might still basically be forced to give half of your stuff. Like it all really depends on the state. So keep that in mind. And this is why who you end up marrying is one of the biggest financial decisions you will potentially ever make in your life. If you want to learn how to get out of debt and master your money, go to 40inbox.com or down in the description to learn how to get out of debt.